Okay, we're going up into our tree house today, and as you can see, the trees around our tree house are really starting to green up with spring. You can see all the leaves, and we're going to open the door and we're going to talk today about trees. What better thing to talk about since we are in a tree house. I have lots of wonderful trees in the tree house today. I've brought some artwork to look at. I've brought a wonderful book about owls that live in trees. And we're going to talk about an artist named Vincent Van Gogh who painted trees. Can you hear the birds? There are birds outside in the trees. Let's look through the windows. We can see trees all around us through the windows. Hi, I'm Miss Mo. Welcome back to the treehouse. Today in the treehouse we're talking about trees. What a perfect thing to talk about since we're way up high in the treehouse. Trees are an important part of my life. We have a lot of trees in my yard. Do you have trees in your yard? Why are trees important? Why is it good to have trees? I have a tree here we're going to look at. This is a wooden tree. So let's think about a tree in the summer when it's so hot and all the leaves have come out on the tree. Why can trees help in the heat? If you look at this painting here, underneath the painting of these trees, we see some dark black. The dark black is the shade, right? And when it's really hot and the sun is blistering down on us, doesn't it feel nice to sit under the shade of a tree? Trees are also important because they make oxygen. And oxygen is what we need to breathe. So when you have a tree in your yard or in the park, it's not only for to look beautiful, and it's not only for shade, but it actually helps clean the air around us. What can we think of that lives in a tree? Do birds live in trees? We're hearing some birds, aren't we? Owls live in trees, and sometimes bugs live in trees. Birds can build their nests in trees, and birds like to live in trees because it's way up high and it can keep them protected from animals that might try to eat them. Birds can fly, right? So they can reach up high. What other animals do we see in trees? Sometimes we see a squirrel climbing a tree. I have a lot of squirrels in my tree, and they're always running up and down the branches. Sometimes they chase each other in the branches. Trees can provide homes for lots of different animals. In the jungles, the trees can be homes to monkeys and to sloths and to lots of different types of animals. Love to be in trees. Bats can live in trees too, but bats don't live in nests, do they? Bats hang upside down from the tree branches. That's how they sleep. Sometimes different things we eat can grow on trees. Did you know apples grow on trees? And peaches grow on trees? And cherries grow on trees? Almonds grow on trees. Olives grow on trees. Trees can provide us lots of food, as well as shade, and as well as oxygen, and as well as beauty. Trees are just beautiful. And we're going to look at some artwork that Vincent Van Gogh made with trees. Trees have always been a subject of art. Almost every artist has some type of tree art. Vincent Van Gogh did lots of different types of trees. He did some trees that were very close together. He did some olive trees. He also did almond branches. Almond trees have beautiful white flowers. And so the branches from the almond tree were something he liked to paint. Vincent Van Gogh was a Dutch artist, but he did most of his painting in France. He was not a successful artist when he was alive. In fact, he only sold one painting the entire time he was alive. But after he passed away, and over the years, his paintings have become extremely famous. Vincent used really bright colors and really thick, choppy brush strokes. One of his most famous paintings that you probably have seen before is Starry Night. Now we see that this painting is the sky with the stars, and it was painted from a window up high, so he's looking down on the town, but the tall, dark object on the left of the painting, that is a cypress tree. And that is a really big, tall tree. So tall that he could see it from his window. This is an extremely famous painting. And just another example of how trees are used in art. My husband draws trees. These are some trees that he's planted and he drew. There are lots of different kinds of trees. Some trees keep green all year long. They're called evergreens. But other trees lose their leaves when it gets cold. And in the fall, we start to see the leaves change colors and they fall off. And then in the spring, they start to come back again. Those trees are called deciduous, which is a big word. Did you know that trees even have their own holiday? It's called Arbor Day, and it is on the last Friday of April, which this year was April 24th, just this last Friday. Arbor is another name for tree. And on Arbor Day, we celebrate trees, and we are also supposed to plant a tree. Well, we talked about the different animals that live in trees, and one animal that lives in a tree is an owl. And one of my favorite books, and my kids' favorite books, is Owl Babies. And we're going to talk about these owls that live in a tree. Owl Babies by Martin Waddell. Once there were 3 baby owls, Sarah and Percy and Bill. They lived in a hole in the trunk of a tree with their owl mother. The hole had twigs and leaves and owl feathers in it. It was their house. One night, they woke up and their owl mother was gone. "Where's Mommy?" asked Sarah. "Oh my goodness," said Percy. "I want my Mommy," said Bill. The baby owls thought. All owls think a lot. "I think she's gone hunting," said Sarah. "To get us our food," said Percy. "I want my Mommy," said Bill. But their owl mother didn't come. The owls came out of their house and they sat on the tree and waited. A big branch for Sarah, a small branch for Percy, and an old piece of ivy for Bill. "Shh!" "She'll be back," said Sarah. "Back soon," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. It was dark in the woods, and they had to be brave, for things moved all around them. "Here they are. She'll bring us mice and things that are nice," said Sarah. "I suppose so," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. They sat and they thought. All owls think a lot. "I think we should all sit on my branch," said Sarah. And they did, all three together. Sometimes we feel better when we're close to people we love. "Suppose she got lost," said Sarah. "Or a fox got her," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. And the baby owls closed their owl eyes and wished their owl mother would come. And she came. Soft and silent, she swooped through the trees to Sarah and Percy and Bill. "Mommy!" they cried, and they flapped, and they danced, and they bounced up and down on their branch. "What's all the fuss?" their owl mother asked. "You knew I'd come back." The baby owls thought. All owls think a lot. "I knew it," said Sarah. "And I knew it," said Percy. "I love my mommy," said Bill. The end. Isn't that a sweet story? Here's a cute poem about an owl. "A wise old owl lived in an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't we all be like that wise bird?" Owls are known to be wise. Sometimes you'll see them in cartoons with graduation hats on or glasses or something to make them feel like they look like they are wise. They sleep during the day. Owls are nocturnal, so they are out at night. That's why the mom in Owl Babies was out hunting at night when her babies were still sleeping, because they go out and catch things that are out at night. We're going to make a craft today, and this craft is relatively easy. It's just made out of a paper bag, and I have a couple examples here for you of some tree craft that you can make yourself at home. All you need is a paper bag, like a lunch sack that you would take a lunch in, or if you have a big paper bag like from the grocery store, you could make a really big tree. But I just have a couple examples of little paper bag trees. So what I'm going to do is show you some simple steps to making a paper bag tree. First thing you're going to do is take your paper bag, and what I like to do first is open it up, put your hand in it, grab the bottom, and kind of twist. You're twisting and then you're flattening out the bottom so it will stand. So you can kind of practice here, see if it stands, get it to a good point. You're going to kind of keep twisting like the trunk of a tree. Lots of trunks of trees are twisted. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to cut down the top of the tree several times. You can make really thin cuts or wide cuts. This is just a really simple cutting process. After you do that, you're going to gently take the pieces that you've cut and you're just going to start twisting them around and around to make your tree branches. So I'm just twisting. These I've made kind of fat. I didn't make really thin ones. And you can see in this tree, I've made really thin cuts. It depends on the tree. There are so many different types of tree. Older trees are going to have thicker branches. Younger trees are going to have thinner branches. Different types of trees will have different types of branches. And the great thing about this craft is you just twist. You don't really need to do anything else. You're going to twist and twist and twist. If you want to use tape, if you want to use anything to help hold it, you can. And then if you want to make that base kind of rounded but still be able to stand up, and then you've got a really great tree. Now, this is what a tree would look like in the winter when all the leaves were off, and it's still a really neat design. But you can also take some green paper or draw some green on some paper and cut out some leaves. Putting the leaves on takes quite a while depending on how many leaves you want. There are a couple different ways you can do it. One way is to cut a leaf. Cut a hole in the leaf by folding it over and making a little hole. And then taking your branch, squeezing it tight, and pushing that leaf through so it kind of hangs on like that. You can also take a leaf and tape it on if you have some tape. If you had some little wire at home, it would be fun to wire them on. Or if you had some green stickers or green paper that was sticky, you could do that as well. You can also just take a leaf here and tape it on. So you can put on as many leaves as you want. You could also make some red apples or some cherries or peaches and fill up your tree. But this is a really fun thing to do with really very few supplies at home. If you have lunch bags or big bags, and you can make a whole forest of trees. Do you know the different parts of a tree? Trees have roots, like flowers and vegetables, that go down into the ground. And then the tall part that's made of bark. Bark is the wood part of a tree. That is called the trunk of a tree. And then at the top of the tree, we have branches that come out. And then on those branches, we have leaves. Sometimes flowers, and those flowers sometimes can turn into fruits. While we think of trees as being really tall and something we can look up to, there are things called bonsai trees. Bonsai trees are small trees that are pruned, and they look like big trees, but they are made and put into small pots. They trim down the roots of the trees, and they can make them grow, and they can make the trunks grow thick. And that's a special kind of tree called a bonsai tree. I wanted to show you the tree that our tree house is built on. It was a large tree, and it died, and so we cut all the branches off, but left the base, so we have the trunk of the tree, and the roots are still in the ground. But then my husband built the tree house on the remaining base of this tree. So you can see the part of the tree that is still there, and then this is the bottom of the tree house, and these are the stairs that go up into it. Okay friends, that was such a fun day. I hope you made a tree today. I hope you have trees that you can go outside and look at. They are beautiful. You can climb trees, which is another fun thing about a tree. People can hang swings from trees. They can make tree houses in trees. They can put things under a tree to use the shade. They can see the different animals that live in trees. They can eat the things from trees. Trees are really important and really beautiful. I hope you have a great day. We really miss you at the Wichita Children's Theater and Dance Center and can't wait to see you soon. But it's been so wonderful to be able to have this time with you and to share these videos with you, so you know we are thinking of you and hoping you are having a wonderful time. Until our next video next week, take care, and I will see you soon from the treehouse.